Hi friends, welcome to class. If you are a beginner at yoga, you've come to the right place. We'll go over the foundational requirements in a full yoga practice today. Go ahead and grab your yoga blocks for today's practice. If you don't own yoga blocks, I highly recommend getting cork blocks to help you out in your practice. The blocks are really, really helpful. And we'll get started today in a hero's pose. Go ahead and just sit back on your heels. And if this is too uncomfortable for you, you can always grab your block and slide it underneath your butt and gently sit on it. We'll just close our eyes and settle and arrive. Yoga is more than a physical practice, more than its asana practice. Bring an awareness to your breath. Inhaling through the nose and exhaling out through the nose. Just take your time to arrive in the present moment and connect with the natural rhythm of your breath. Deep inhale through the nose and exhale everything out through the mouth. Deep inhale. Audible exhale out through the mouth. Throughout our yoga practice, we will be tapping into Ujjayi breath, which is commonly referred to as the victorious breath. I like to personally refer to it as the ocean flow breath. So we begin by inhaling through the nose, and as we exhale, we slightly constrict the back of our throats. Not too harsh, but a light constriction, almost as if you're imitating the sounds of rolling waves in the ocean. So inhale through the nose and exhale. The sound should also resemble the sound as if you're trying to fog up a mirror. So we'll do that next round with our mouths closed. Inhale through the nose. And exhale. Deep inhale. And exhale. So from your hero's pose, I'm going to go over to my side so that you could see me better. We're going to interlace the hands in front of heart center. As we inhale, begin to lengthen out through the spine. Take one more inhale. As we exhale, push your hands in front of you, round out through the upper thoracic spine into your cat. Try to separate the shoulder blades from one another. This is called shoulder protraction. Inhale takes us up. Try to squeeze the shoulder blades together this time. Then use your arms to create this cactus-like shape. Lower the elbows down onto the hips, expand through the heart. Hands come back to heart center. Exhale, round out. Inhale takes us up. And exhale, cactus, open the arms. Expand your heart out. Hands meet at heart center. Do a couple of these rounds on your own pace. Try to find your own rhythm. Try to wake up through the shoulders. And we'll take one last round. Interlace the hands at heart center. Inhale. Exhale, protract. Inhale, retract. And exhale, cactus, open the arms. Then release. Come on over to a tabletop position. Wrists underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips. And we're going to circle over the wrists. It's important to always warm up the wrists before a yoga practice. Press your fingertips down on the mat. Almost as if your fingertips are turning white. Your hand should resemble the shape of a spider. And then we're going to just switch sides. Remember to resist the ground away from your fingertips to the inner knuckles of your hands. And try to explore some movement here, maybe creating these cat and cow-like poses. Try to be animalistic in your movement. Yoga is a practice of freedom and structure, and this is a moment to be free and explore the inner fibers of your own being. Then slowly walk your hands to the top of the mat and sink your chest down. Find your puppy pose. Breathe into your side body and feel the stretch. Connect with your breath. Then slowly come up on to your belly here. Find your Sphinx pose. Reach out through the collarbones and through the heart. Push the ground away with your forearms. Find some length in the spine. Then slowly tuck your toes and find your child's pose. Try to walk your fingertips towards the top of the mat. Again, try to find some length in the side body. And as we inhale, we come up, round through the upper spine into our cat pose. Exhale, squeeze the shoulder blades in together, find your cow pose. Sink back into child's. Inhale takes you up to cat. Exhale brings you to cow. And take a few rounds of this at your own pace, but really feel your spine unraveling piece by piece. The inhale takes you up, protract through the shoulders, and the exhale, retract through the shoulders. Child's pose. Inhale takes you up, and exhale brings you down. Then tuck the toes behind you and lift up and find your Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. Keep your knees bent in your downward facing dog. The priority here is to have an active downward facing dog. Send the hips back into space. Having the knees bent allows us to send our hips further up towards the sky. Press down on the inner knuckles and the fingertips. Imagine that you're sending the heels back towards the mat without the heels actually touching the mat. Wrap your triceps in, squeeze your forearms in together. And tap into your Ujjayi breath here. Then walk your hands slowly up towards your feet. Keep your legs bent here in your forward fold. Create this connection between your belly and your thighs. Feel free to grab opposite elbows, sway side to side, creating this ragdoll sensation. Then inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Drive energy from your feet, root to rise. Urdhva Hastasana, reach your arms up towards the sky. Exhale, hands come to heart center. Take an inhale. Exhale, hands come down to the sides, Tadasana. Inhale takes you up. And exhale, fold over. Keep your legs bent. Inhale, halfway lift. As you exhale, walk your hands to the top of the mat. Find your downward facing dog. Press the ground away from you. Inhale, right leg lifts up high towards the sky. Bend the right leg and bring your right leg over to the outside of your right hand. Drop the back leg down. Pull the collarbones forward. Breathe into your space. And if you want, you can lift the back leg up and use the back toes to send you back and forth, creating this nice opening in the hips. Then left foot comes and meets the outside of left hand and rise up into your active yogi squat. Try to find some buoyancy in the legs here. Maybe sway side to side. And reach your arms forward to counterbalance. As we exhale, we straighten out our legs and hands come to heart center. Inhale, reach the arms up towards the sky. As we exhale, we send the hips down low, back into active yogi squat. Inhale, hands come down to the earth. Make your way into your high plank pose. Gaze yourself forward and send the heels back. Pull your collarbones forward. Find some length in the spine here. As we slowly lower down onto our bellies. Reach the arms behind you. And we'll enter our locust pose piece by piece. Inhale to lift the chest up, followed by the arms. Reach back, squeeze your shoulder blades in together, then float the legs up. Stay heavy in the hips here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring your hands underneath your shoulders as you press back into your downward facing dog. This time, lift the left leg up high towards the sky. Bend the left leg. Ripple forward so that the left foot lands on the outside of left hand. You can either drop the back leg down into your lizard lunge, or you could keep that back leg lifted. Use the back toes to send you forward and back. Create an opening in the hips. And then the right foot meets the outside of right hand. Rise up into your yogi squat. Exhale, straighten out through the legs. Hands come to heart center. Inhale, reach the arms up towards the sky. Exhale, send the hips down low. Active squat. Inhale, hands come down to the earth. Come into your high plank pose. As we slowly lower down onto our belly, find locust pose. Hold it here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hands come underneath the shoulders as you press into downward facing dog. We'll do 4 full rounds of the Surya Namaskar A. This is Awakening Yoga Surya Namaskar A series. And the purpose of the sun salutation, Surya Namaskar, is to warm up our bodies through active repetition, which stimulates our minds and our physical body, creating tapas, this purification in our bodies. Send the hips back into space. Resist the ground away with your hands. Wrap the triceps in. Engage your core. You could either step forward into your active squat, or if you'd like to take the opportunity to hop into active squat, now is your opportunity. Keep your gaze between your thumbs. Inhale to lift the heels, bend the legs. Look forward. Bottom of the exhale. Float or step into your active squat. Exhale, straighten out through the legs. Hands come to heart center. Inhale, reach the arms up towards the sky. Exhale, send the hips down low, active squat. Inhale, hands come down to the earth, look forward, and come into your high plank pose. Slowly lower down, find your locust pose. And bottom of the exhale, press back into your downward facing dog. We'll take the next 3 rounds at pace. Find your rhythm, 1 breath per movement. Inhale to lift the heels, bend the legs, either step or float into your active squat. Exhale, straighten up through the legs, hands come to heart center. Inhale, reach the arms up towards the sky, look up. Exhale, send the hips down low, active squat. Inhale, hands come down to the earth, find your high plank pose, lower down, locust pose. Exhale brings you back into downward facing dog. Inhale to lift the heels, bend the legs, step or float into active squat. Exhale, straighten out through the legs, hands come to heart center. Inhale, reach the arms up towards the sky. Exhale, sink the hips down low, active squat. Inhale, hands come down to the earth, find your high plank, slowly lower down to your belly, locust pose. Bottom of the exhale, press back into downward facing dog. One last round, find your rhythm here. Inhale to lift the heels, bend the legs, either step or float into active squat. Exhale, straighten out through the legs, hands come to heart center. Inhale, reach the arms up towards the sky. Exhale, sink the hips down low, active squat. Inhale, hands come down to the earth, look forward, step back into your high plank, slowly lower down onto your belly. Inhale for locust pose. Bottom of the exhale, downward facing dog. Take 5 full breaths in your downward facing dog. Tap into your Ujjayi breath. And gaze forward as you slowly walk your hands towards your feet. Keep the legs bent here as you fold over Utkatasana. Slide your hands underneath your feet so that the toes are touching on the wrist creases. Maintain that connection between your belly and your thighs. Or you can begin to straighten up through the legs as long as your belly is connected to your thigh. So often in yoga, the tendency is to want to be able to reach the toes with straight legs, but lose that priority because what's important is the connection between the thighs and the belly. Take a few moments here. Either use your toes to press down on the wrist creases, creating this nice release onto the wrists. Then slowly slide your hands out. Inhale takes you to halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, root to rise, Ardha Hastasana. Exhale, hands come to heart center. Take an inhale. Exhale, drop the arms towards your sides, Tadasana. Inhale, look up, reach up. Exhale, fold over, hinge from the hips. Inhale, halfway lift. This time, take your left foot to the back of the mat and find your way into a wide-legged stance. Make sure your knees and toes are pointing relatively towards the same direction. And we're going to hinge forward with the hips. So often we think that the hips are this bony prominence here on the side, but our hips are actually here. Think of your hips as the pockets of your jeans, even if you may not be wearing jeans right now at this very moment. And it's important to fold over by sending the hips back, 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 as if you're backing up a truck. fold over. And if you have your blocks, it could be useful to give yourself some height or bring the ground closer towards your body. And feel free to even bend the legs as well in your forward fold. Keep driving energy up from the feet. Create that stable foundation. Inner thigh should be engaged and working. And then we're going to slowly rise up. Pivot your right foot towards the top of the mat. Take an inhale. As you exhale, find your warrior 2. Try to stay heavy in the hips here. And in yoga, we like to find stability and find balance through the inner arches of our feet. So really push down with the toe mounds. Lift through the inner arches. Create that strong foundation. Inhale to lengthen out through the crown of the head. And exhale, sink down. Inhale, lengthen. And exhale, try to bring your tailbone down towards the mat. Stay steady in the hips. Take one last inhale. As we exhale, send your hips back as if you're backing up a truck. Send it back, 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 back. Reach your arms forward. And when you can no longer reach any further, bring your right hand down and find your triangle pose, Trikonasana. And again, please feel free to use the block to bring the ground closer towards you. Or if you'd like an added challenge, you can float the right hand up. Again, push down on the big toe mounds. Create activation through the foot arches and breathe into your side body. One last breath. Inhale takes you up. Then we're just going to pivot our left foot towards the back of the mat. Inhale to expand. As you exhale, sink down into your warrior 2. Again, press down through the big toe mounds. Find some length through the spine. Send your tailbone back down towards the mat. Squeeze your shoulder blades together. Create that shoulder retraction. Can you reach out further with your left hand? And can you reach out with your right? You should almost feel as if you're suspended from the ceiling here. Create this tension in the body. Hold it here for a few more breaths. Take an inhale. And as you exhale, send your hips towards the top of the mat. Back it up, back it up, back it up. Reach your left arm up. And when you can no longer reach any further, find your Trikonasana, your triangle pose. Again, can you roll down your shoulders onto your back? Can you drive energy from the earth through your feet? And can you get tall through the crown of your head? A few more breaths. Inhale takes you up. Pivot your way towards the top of the mat. Left foot meets the right foot. Reach your arms up towards the ceiling, Utkatasana. Exhale, fold over. Inhale, lift halfway up. Exhale, fold. Inhale takes you up. As you exhale, the right foot finds the back of the mat. And find your Anjani Asana, your low lunge. And try to create some movement here in your low lunge, but make sure to try to square the hips forward. So as you pull onto that left hip, you're pushing that right hip forward. Inhale to reach your arms up towards the ceiling. Lift up through the lower belly. And again, use your toes to create stability. The feet are your foundation. Then reach your arms in front of you. And we're going to just create these circles. Twist open towards the right. Come back. Find some mobility here. We'll take 2 more rounds of these circles. Then slowly lower your right hand to the inside of your left foot. Reach with your left arm forward and backstroke your way. Drive your heel of the right foot in towards your butt. Grab onto the foot. And if you can't grab onto your foot, just drive that heel towards the butt. Create that activation. And if you can reach your foot, make sure to kick your foot in towards that hand. Twisted lizard lunge. Roll down on the right shoulder. Feel the stretch in your hips and hamstrings. Hold it here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Slowly lower down that right foot on towards the mat. Send your hips back into space. Drive through your heel and find your half splits. I'll just move the block so that you can see me better. Try to put your tailbone pointing towards the sky. Toes should be facing towards your body. Create length through the crown of your head. Drive down through that left heel. One last breath. Lean your way forward as your right foot meets your left. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lift. As you exhale, this time the left foot finds the back of the mat. Find your Anjaneyasana, your low lunge. Again, try to pull that right hip back as you send your left hip forward, creating this squaring of the hip sensation. And don't worry if your hips can't square off just yet. Just create that activation. Inhale, float the arms up towards the sky. Lift up from your low belly. Then reach your arms in front of you. And we'll create these circles. We'll take 5 rounds. Try to find this mobility in your shoulders. Press down on the big toe mounds. Then bring your left hand to the inside of right foot. Reach your right arm up, and we'll take twisted lizard lunge on this side. Remember, if you can't grab onto your foot, just drive the heel in towards the butt. Keep pressing and kicking that foot into the hand. Twist open towards the side. Roll your left shoulder blade down. Find this opening in the hips and the hamstrings. Hold it here for 3, 2, 1. Exhale, slowly release that back foot. Send your hips back into space, back up the truck. Point your toes towards your body. Find your half splits. Try to reach your tailbone up towards the ceiling. Maybe even close your eyes to feel this opening in the hips. Drive down to that right heel. And inhale, lower the right foot down. Left foot meets the right. Find your forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, root to rise, Urdhva. Exhale, hands come to heart center. Take an inhale. Exhale, drop the arms down towards the side. And as we inhale now, reach your arms up towards the ceiling, send your hips back and find your Utkatasana, chair pose. Try to distribute the weight evenly between the heels and the toes. Try to squeeze your arms as close to your ears as possible. Lengthen out through the fingertips. And exhale, fold over. Inhale, halfway lift. As you exhale, find your way into your high plank pose. Remember to pull your collarbones forward. Send your heels down towards the back of the mat. And we'll slowly lower down for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Place your left hand at the 10 o'clock direction outside of the mat, and your right hand at the 2 o'clock direction outside of the mat for oscillating cobra. Rest your forehead down on the mat. I would do so, but it would compromise the audio quality of this video. And try to find some embodiment in this movement. Even close your eyes. Inhale to begin to lift up through the chest. Squeeze the glutes. And exhale, release down onto the mat. Inhale, rise. And exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. And exhale, lower. Try to feel as if you are a rolling wave in the ocean. Inhale, rise. And exhale, lower. And we'll hold at the top of the next round. Inhale. Hold. Exhale, release. Drop your left ear onto the mat. And just take some time to recenter, to refocus, recalibrate. Come back to center as we'll take Locust Pose. Inhale to lift through the chest, lift the arms, followed by the legs. Stay heavy in the hips here. For 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, slowly release. Rest your right ear onto the mat this time, or whichever ear you didn't rest in the previous round. I would do that myself, but again, the audio quality of the mic would be compromised. And for the next round, you could either take Locust Pose, or if you would like to try Bow Pose, grab onto the ankles. Inhale, lengthen out through the crown of the head, lift the chest, then kick your heels up towards the sky. Try to bring the knees in towards each other. Stay heavy in the hips, hold it here for 3, 2, 1. Exhale, slowly release. And press back into Child's Pose. Just tap into your Ujjayi breath here in Child's. From Child's Pose, we're going to slowly make our way onto our backs. Bring the right ankle over the left leg. Interlace your hands underneath your left knee. Into your figure 4 or reclined pigeon pose. Take these moments as an opportunity to slow your energy down. Try to ground down through your right hip. Perhaps you notice that your breathing is different. compared to the beginning of class. Release your left leg onto the mat. Hug your right knee in towards the chest. Then bring that right knee over towards the left side of your body. Twist open. It's always great to end a practice with supine twists to neutralize the spine. Don't be too concerned with grounding your shoulders down onto the mat. Just focus on that knee. And slowly return to center, and we're going to switch sides. This time the left ankle goes over the right leg. Interlace your fingers underneath your right knee. Reclined pigeon. This time ground down through the left hip. Just move that off to the side. Then release your right leg. Hug your left knee in towards the chest. And take that left knee, twist open towards the right side. I would do so, but I wouldn't want to crush my microphone receiver. Just twist open. And come back to center. Lift both legs up towards the sky. And grab onto the outer edges of your feet. And if you can't grab onto the outer edges of your feet, you could grab the inside edges. Whatever is available to you at this very moment. Soften the back, soften the shoulders, and find your Ananda Balasana, happy baby pose. You know, a lot of people are intimidated to practice yoga because they tell themselves that they're not flexible enough for the practice. But saying you're not flexible enough to do yoga is like saying you're too dirty to have a shower. So let go of all of those notions, let go of all of that self-doubt. Because practice makes progress. And it doesn't matter if you could touch your toes on the floor. What matters is your embodiment to the practice. Your connection to your breath. Remember, this is a practice of intention to explore the inner essence of our true beings. Then release the feet and rest the heels to opposite corners of the mat. Rest your arms along to your sides, palms facing up, and enter into your Shavasana. Soften the jaw, soften the face. Close your eyes gently. And allow yourself this moment to rest, to process everything that just happened. And you showed up and you were willing to do the work. Invite a sense of stillness, a sense of calm. Breathe in from your belly. Inhaling through the nose and exhaling out through the nose. take as much time as you need into your Shavasana. It was an honor to share this practice with you. I hope that you continue to practice yoga and continue to connect with your breath through movement and embodiment. I hope that something wonderful and magical happens to you in your day. Have a wonderful, wonderful rest of the day. It was an honor to share this practice with you. Namaste.